Good morning, students. Today we will go for learning of the lesson number 23, that is methods of data collection in the subject of research methodology for the students of MCOM second semester. It is a very important topic today because the data collection is called as the heart of the research. It is the central element of the research, and without which the research is not possible. I am your teacher, Dr. Somnath, GS College of Commerce, Vartha, Maharashtra. Let us first go for the introduction. Data collection is a process of collecting information from all the relevant sources to find answers to the research problem and test the hypothesis and evaluate the outcomes. Data collection can be divided into two categories: secondary methods of data collection and primary methods of data collection. Now let us go for the meaning of data. So the term data refers to any kind of information the researchers obtain from the subjects, respondents or participants of the study. In research, data are collected and used to answer the research questions or objectives of the study. The examples of data: demographic information such as age, sex, household size, civil status or religion; social and economic information such as educational attainment, health status, extent of participants in social organizations, occupation, income, housing condition, and so on and so forth. The scores in exams, grades, etc. Practically speaking, by linguistics we can say data is a plural. The singular is datum, D-A-T-U-M, datum. So data and datum are part of the statistical area and it is a part of the statistics. Now the importance of data collection. Data collection is an extremely important part of any research because the conclusions of a study are based on what the data reveal. There are several ways of collecting data. The choice of procedures usually depends upon the objectives and design of the study and the availability of time, money and personnel. Now we will go for the primary data collection. In statistics, data collection is a process of gathering information from all the relevant sources to find a solution to the research problem. It helps to evaluate the outcome of the problem. The data collection methods allow a person to conclude an answer to the relevant question. Most of the organizations use data collection methods to make assumptions about future possibilities and trends. Once the data is collected, it is necessary to undergo the data organization process. The main sources of the data collection methods are the data. Data can be classified into two types, namely primary and secondary. The primary importance of data collection in any research or business process is that it helps to determine many important things about the company, particularly of the performance. So the data collection process plays an important role in all these streams. Depending on the type of data, the data collection method is divided into two categories: primary data collection methods and secondary data collection methods. Now we will go for learning the primary data collection methods. So the primary data is also called as raw data because it is directly obtained from the first hand source by way of experiments, surveys or observations or interviews. The primary data collection method is further classified into two types. They are quantitative data collection methods and qualitative data methods. The first one is quantitative data collection methods. It is based on the mathematical calculations using various formats like closed-end questions, correlation and regression methods, mean, median or mode measures. This method is cheaper than quantitative data collection methods and it can be applied in a short duration of time. The quantitative data are information which can be counted on expressed in numerical values, namely age, grade, income, test score, number of children, level of satisfaction, amount of sales, length of service, any quantitative natured data and information will come under the quantitative data. Now the qualitative data. The qualitative data collection methods include very non-mathematical calculated oriented methods. This method is closely associated with elements that are not quantifiable. The qualitative data collection method includes interviews, questionnaires, observations, case studies, etc. There are several methods to collect this type of data. These are descriptive information which has no numerical values. Example, attitude or perception towards something, process used in accomplishing an activity, a person's experiences, one's ideas about certain concepts, the situation or phenomena like drug abuse, family planning, justice system, so on and so forth, any social related activity or actions. The requisites before data collection. The choice of the best way to collect data depends largely on the type of data to be collected and the source of data. Before starting to collect the data, the researcher should decide what data to collect, where or from whom to collect, and what instruments or devices to use in collecting the data. If these questions are well priorly answered and kept ready before the data collection, the data collection will become a successful operation. Now the observation method. The observation method is used when the study relates to behavioral science, and this method is planned systematically. It is a subject to many controls and checks. The different types of observations are structured and unstructured observation, controlled and uncontrolled observation, participant or non-participant and disguised observation. These are the various ways of methods of the observation method. Now the interview method. The method of collecting data in terms of oral or verbal responses. It is achieved in two ways, such as personal interview and telephonic interview. In the case of the personal interview, a person known as an interviewer is required to ask questions face to face to the other person. The personal interview can be structured or unstructured, direct investigation or focused conversation, etc. The telephonic interview includes an interviewer obtains information by contacting people on the telephone to ask the questions or use orally. Now the questionnaire method. In this method, the set of questions are mailed to the respondent. They should read deeply, reply, and subsequently return the questionnaire. The questions are printed in the definite order on the form. A good survey should have the following features. The questionnaire should have short and simple. It should follow a logical sequence. It should provide adequate space for answers. It should have, to avoid technical terms, it should have good physical appearance such as color, quality of the paper to attract the attention of the respondent. The advantages of using self-administered questionnaire are there is a very less expensive as far as interviewing a respondent is concerned. A questionnaire requires less time and less skills for data gathering and processing. External influence is avoided. Respondents have the time to think before answering because they are not pressured to give an answer immediately because they have much time in their hand. So they can read, they can reread, they can further again read and come to a conclusion having a good a perception of the question what is asked and then finally give the answer to it. The disadvantages of a self-administered question. The per respondent cost of self-administered questionnaire may be low, but the return rate is also generally low, using less than 50% usually. Many respondents do not return accomplished questionnaires. Respondents included in the sample may not be representative of the population being studied. No one will answer or clarify the questions that may arise. Questionnaires cannot be used on illiterate respondents. Again, this is a problem. The schedules. This method is similar to the questionnaire method with a slight difference. Here, the enumerators or the data collectors are specially appointed for the purpose of filling the schedules. It explains the aims and objectives of the investigation and may remove misunderstanding, if any have come up while the process of collecting the data and information. The enumerator should should be trained to perform their job with hard work and patience. Particularly, schedules are on the part of addressing the needs of those respondents who either cannot respond to it or who do not have the ability to answer either by reading or writing the answers to the questions asked. Henceforth, questionnaire is asked to those persons who can apply and fill on their own, as well as the schedules are those on the other areas where there is an inability to adopt the method of answering the questions by their own way, either by writing or reading or correspondingly with the questionnaires that are being made. Henceforth, the schedules are mostly used in the case of non-literate or non-time oriented people are having no ability to answer the questions. So in such a case, the schedules are asked. Whereas on the other hand, the questionnaires are given to those people who are having ability to respond to the questions on their own and can fill up the questionnaire and return afterwards. So with this, I hope you might have gone through what is actually the data collection is concerned and how the primary level of data collection, primary data collection methods are being used and what are the techniques being used while going for primary data collection. I hope you might have understood it. I also request you once again to go through the video and understand what actually, and at the same time go through the books available with you as far as the primary data collection methods are concerned. Till then, stay safe and stay home, protected. Thank you very much. All the best to all of you.